Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Vero Engineering Avid 2, which actually, if you've been looking to get your hands on a Vero, but you've looked at some of their other models and they tend to be really expensive, I think the base version of this actually has a relatively decent price tag on it. I'll link all of these right down in the description. They'll all go to Blade HQ. They are available, at least at the time of this recording. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. This doesn't need to be an overly complicated review. I've reviewed the Vero Avid 1, which is somewhat similar, but it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to kind of get right to it. Overall length here coming in at about 7.65 inches. Overall blade length is 3.5, surprisingly, and your cutting edge is about 3.25. Let's just do a couple of size comparisons here up against the Spyderco Para 3. We'll put it up against my compact Excalibur. We'll put it up against the Ritter Hogue. I'm sorry, not the Ritter Hogue, the Hogue Deca, and also the Benchmade Bug Out. How is the action on this knife? It's pretty good. This is a titanium liner lock, and it is the same for the base price version that I was talking about. The other cool thing about this here, let me get my flashlight. Let me get that. The same box as my flashlight, and it has a little fixed blade in it with an exposed edge. This little titanium lock bar actually has a lock bar insert in it, which is really not something that we see all the time. Usually knives like this, they just put the whole liner as steel, which is also functionally the same essentially. But to put titanium liners in this and then to actually put a titanium lock bar insert in there is just cool. They do that with the base. When I say the base version of this knife, the base version is black and gray G10, but it still has a pretty substantial amount of titanium in the liners and is quite a bit less than this carbon fiber version and a lot less than the full titanium version. So that's pretty impressive. I just think that that's really, really cool. But anyways, did I say we're going to do action? This is a rear flipper. This is a front flipper. And then you also have the little opening rectangle thing, which you can use to deploy the knife in a number of different ways. The D10 is great. It is exactly how you would expect it to operate. I have really no issues with it, and the pivot action is awesome. Look at this. Very good. Carry profile. Let's put it up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's a little thicker. These are full liners with the scales on top, but it is it? I don't know. Initially, I was going to say subtle contouring. If it's contoured, it is absurdly subtle. Either way, though, length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. This is a very easy knife to carry. It is crazy lightweight. I mean, for the amount of knife that you get. It's very lightweight, very compact. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness while I'm right here next to the calipers. You're looking at 124 thousandths there. Let's go ahead and weigh it. This will probably weigh very similar to the G10 version. The full titanium version will obviously weigh more. We are looking at 3.6 ounces of weight for 3.5 inches of blade. Very good ratios, and the balance is right behind the pivot. It should be the same way with the G10 one. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'll get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel. T8, obviously the other, I don't know why we're doing both body screws there. The pocket clip screw is also a T8. This is fantastic. A very simple knife to take apart and put back together. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's move into the meat and potatoes. This is the Avid. It looks, I mean, it has that Vero look. I think that the Avid is clearly like, you know, the idea here is allow people to get their hands on variations of Vero knives that are not nearly as expensive. And obviously, I think that's doing the trick. I like the squared off Wharncliffe look. Obviously, the downside to this is that it does not really have a tip outside of like this almost 90-degree angle that you can drive. I mean, like, ultimately, what I use a tip for is just getting into a package. This will do just fine. But if you actually do need to do real puncture tasks, this isn't going to be as good. Outside of that, though, it's fine. one long straight edge, so your general cutting tasks, draw cuts, basically anything that you would do with a utility knife, this is going to be about the same. Ergonomics and actuation of things, just like the natural, ergonomic grip zones and manipulation, it's all incredibly natural. It's very Vero. I love that. I also love that the lock bar is completely hidden underneath the scale in this version versus it being an exposed frame lock. I just find that to be better. Vero does a good job with their... That's enough for me. If it survives that, then it'll survive anything I'm going to throw at it, right? If you're going to throw more than that at it, then you need a fixed blade, period, right? But this is going to be just fine. The actual cutting geometry feels pretty good. It's relatively thin down here. I'll let you guys take a look at that plunge grind. What is the steel? Sorry, I gave you like 1 second to look at that. There you go. The steel on this knife is S45VN, to my knowledge. Now, I think Bestech is the OEM for most Vero knives. I know occasionally they use Riot, but I believe this is Bestech. Bestech, at least what they claim, is pretty good about hitting their HRC numbers with steels like M390. S45VN has never traditionally been a steel when companies are actually using it. That's difficult for them to get into the optimal range. S45VN, as far as I know, it's not quite like, the same range for M390. You can actually hit it between 59 and 61, and it's very, very good. S45VN is one of only a handful of steels ever that were actually made for pocket knives. So it has an incredible balance of edge retention, toughness, ease of maintenance, and of course, corrosion resistance, which this actually does better than S30V and S35VN. This is closer to the corrosion resistance of M390. So I think that this steel, it seems like companies have to try hard to not get it heat treated correctly. So S45VN in my book is a steel that I will trust a lot more. It's a lot easier for me to trust S45VN than a lot of other super steels that these companies are using because, again, this steel was made to be used for pocket knives. It was made to be used, it was made to be easier to machine or apply finishes to heat treat, all of that stuff. So it makes sense that they would hit it properly. But of course, without extensive testing, we don't know for sure. So my buddy Taylor, of course, with the hardness, testing lab that he's got. There's a link for it at the bottom of the description. Is doing additional testing on lots of different knives, and hopefully as time goes on, his database will fill up with lots and lots and lots of useful information. But anyways, the inside of this little opening rectangle, it's not sharp. It's not going to shave your fingernails. It's very easy to manipulate. Fit and finish all the way around feels very, very good, very indicative of a company like Bestech. We have a full flat backspacer, which actually also appears to be carbon fiber. This type of carbon fiber sometimes will have voids. That's just the nature of the beast. If that bothers you, then you want to avoid the carbon fiber version. This honestly appears to be pretty good. I'm not seeing like excessive voiding or anything like that. This is really nice carbon fiber here, this marble. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell if it's shred or it doesn't look like shred, right? It looks more like marble, but it does look really, really good. We have a simple wire clip, which is likely one of the ways that they have gotten the price on this down so far, especially on one version. I'm still just really blown away that they actually put titanium liners in this. I think that's cool. I don't love the big bill on this, but it's fine. Honestly, functionality is fine. In and out of the pocket, very easy. The pocket clip itself is actually stemming. The magnet likes it a little bit, so it's definitely not titanium. But it is a pocket clip that can be mounted on either side, left or right-handed. You can see here I can't really reverse flick right now with that Band-Aid, but let's see if I can do it with my third finger. Can I get it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, left-handed and with a finger that I never that never gets any exercise. Oh boy, should I leave that in there? Yeah, I think I will. Anyways, your stop pin is actually located right here. Lots of shouldering underneath the back of that blade. Love how Vero puts their logo up here on the spine, and then the number, the serial number, this one is 80 down here on this flat zone, which, by the way, you can utilize ergonomically. I think that's good. Probably needed a little bit more jimping, at least out to the end of this flat, but it's not totally necessary. Your stop pin for the closed position is actually underneath the flipper tab here, which means it doesn't come anywhere near the plunge grind, which is awesome. Obviously runs on bearings, no blade play, up, down, left, or right. A little tiny bit of lock stick, but that should work itself out, especially with the steel lock bar insert. No pivot lash, ridiculously smooth in here, and a nice detent. Are we centered? Maybe just a hair off to the left, but that could be a pivot turn, which we'll go ahead and do. A quick turn of the pivot. Will we center this completely? Oh, it had a little bit to go there. Yeah, it looks almost. If it is off, it's just by a hair of its chinny chin. I don't know. Not enough for me to complain about it. So what's the base price of this knife? The base price of this knife is the G10. It has a gray and black G10 scale. It's kind of a faux bolster, gray and then black G10, but still titanium underneath an S45VN. When you're looking at Vero prices, that's very competitive at $185. The version you're looking at here is $245 for some reason, and then the titanium version is $275. None of the prices are atrocious, right? But you can get American-made pocket knives like the Kershaw Bel Air for right around $160, $170, and that's either micarta or aluminum with steel liners and MagnaCut and being made in the United States. So this is titanium and G10 or carbon fiber and S45VN for anywhere from $185 to $245 or $275 if full titanium. So competitive for Vero pricing, but when you put it up against some of the best options for American-made knives, it's not quite as competitive. Do I think they could have hit this lower? Yeah, I think so. I think they probably could have done under $150 for the G10 version, but you are going to pay for that Vero name. That's just part of it. So for some people, this will not be an incredible deal. It'll just be kind of a ho-hum deal. For some people, especially those of you looking for Vero knives and not wanting to pay what's typically a Vero price tag, this will be an excellent deal. I'm not super upset with the $185 base price. I wish it was a little bit less, but I'm not super upset about it. At the same time, it's not the most mind-blowing price tag in the entire world. But this is a good knife. If you buy it, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a very, very well-made knife. Looking forward to seeing how, I guess in this case, if it is Bestech, how Bestech is heat-treating steels like S45VN. All in all, it's only going to be recommendable to certain crowds of people and not to everybody. But those of you who pick it up who like Vero knives, I think you'll be really happy with it. That's it. Short and sweet today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you'd like to check out my other content. I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.